OnePlus is one company which concentrates only on flagship instead of launching several smartphones. The Chinese handset maker finally launched this year's flagship, the OnePlus 6 months after the launch of OnePlus 5T. The OnePlus 6 when compared has seen a completely new design to the 5T. It has a large 19:9 aspect ratio display with a notch, comes with a glass body, and also brings several new features such as optical image stabilization, water resistance, and much more. So, does it live up to its expectations? Let's find it out. First up is the display, which has seen a major change. OnePlus moved from 16:9 to 18:9 aspect ratio in 5T, and the OnePlus 6 features a 19:9 aspect ratio display following the trend. It has a large 6.28-inch screen with a resolution of 2280 x 1080 pixels with a pixel density of about 401 ppi. It has a rounded corners and the bezels have been trimmed down to a bare minimum just to make more space for the display, so it is about 84% screen to body ratio compared to 80% on the 5T. Blacks are perfectly black thanks to the AMOLED panel. The color reproduction and the viewing angles are good. It was perfectly readable under the bright sunlight too. It also has a Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection on the front. This device retains DCI P3 and the standard sRGB color profiles, reading mode, night mode, and ambient display options from 5T. The notch houses the 16-megapixel camera, earpiece, customizable notification LED, and the usual set of proximity and RGB ambient light sensors. It also has a gyroscope, magnetic sensor or magnetometer, and an electronic compass. The earpiece has a small hole which attracts dust easily. As promised, ahead of launch, OnePlus is offering an option to hide the notch, and there is also an option to select apps to display in full screen utilizing the area around the notch. It still retains the alert slider, which has been moved to the right side above the power and lock button. The volume rocker has been moved to the left side below the dual SIM slot. It also has a 3.5mm audio jack which is present on the bottom. There is also a loudspeaker grill, USB Type-C port, and the primary microphone. On the back, there is a dual camera setup which now has been arranged vertically compared to its predecessor. And there is also a camera bump since the sensor is big. It has a new 16-megapixel Sony IMX519 primary camera with the f1.7 aperture and support for optical image stabilization in addition to electronic image stabilization. In addition to the electronic image stabilization, the company has retained the 20-megapixel Sony IMX376 secondary rear camera with f1.7 aperture to capture depth information in portrait shots. Dual LED flash is present below the camera, and the fingerprint sensor is oval shaped and is scratch resistant. It is pretty quick to unlock the phone in a fraction of a second when you place the finger on it. The camera user interface is same as the 5T, which is easy to access. You can just swipe left or right to switch between video, photo, portrait, and 2x zoom. It also adds a new bokeh effect including hearts, circles, and stars so that the light in the background of your portrait shots will change based on your selection. The company has also promised to bring a portrait mode to the front camera as well in future via update. This will use AI algorithm to apply depth effect to selfies. Talking about the camera performance, the OnePlus 6 takes a good photo under daylight conditions with very good detail, color, and vibrancy, which is better compared to 5T. Images taken in HDR mode is better with improved contrast and saturation, and also brings out the shadows and enhances lighting. Macro shots came out well. The dual camera has been improved and the edge detection in portrait shots are better. It works a lot better with people and faces than with objects. Addition of new bokeh effects are good. Low light shots are decent and have seen a lot of improvement compared to the 5T, but the camera boosts the ISO to maximum, so it has much more noise compared to other flagship devices like Galaxy S9 or Pixel 2 that maintains ISO around 1000 even in low light shots. Images with flash are good and the flash is not overpowering. The front-facing 16-megapixel camera with Sony IMX371 sensor with f2.0 aperture is same as 5T, which is good for selfies. The front camera is also used for face unlock, which is fast that can unlock the phone in 0.4 seconds. Face unlock works well in the bright environment. For the darker scenarios, there is an assistive lighting that uses screen slide to help the camera recognize you. In addition to this, OnePlus 6 can record videos in 4K or 1080p resolution at 60 fps, but OIS works only in 60 fps and EIS at 30 fps. It also has a slow motion video recording, which now has a 480 fps option at 720p as well as 1080p at 240 fps. And even slow-mo uses optical image stabilization. You can record slow motion videos continuously for 1 minute and select trim down the slow-mo part you need. The OnePlus 6 is the company's first flagship with a glass back, and it has a Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection. It has a subtle curvature that creates a pattern and highlights when the light hits the back. Since the mirror black edition is glossy, it attracts fingerprints and dust easily, so it is recommended to use the bundled clear protective cover. OnePlus is also selling additional back covers, including a new nylon bumper case that has finely woven texture on the back and a rubber grip. The phone has a width of 75.35 mm and is 7.75 mm thick, slightly wider and thicker compared to 5T. The OnePlus 6 weighs around 177 grams, which is 15 grams heavier than the OnePlus 5T. In addition to mirrored black, the phone also comes in midnight black version, which also has a glass back but with a matte finish. There is also a limited edition silk white 128GB version that uses a pearl powder to create a subtle shimmering effect. And then there is a Marvel edition with a 3D Kevlar textured glass back. OnePlus has finally added water resistance to its flagship with the OnePlus 6. However, the phone doesn't have an IP rating. OnePlus says that it can survive a drop in the sink or a spilled glass of water and even a light rain. But it advises not to take it underwater for a swim. It clearly mentions that the exposure to liquid is not covered in warranty. Coming to the software, the OnePlus 6 runs on Oxygen OS 5.1.3 based on Android 8.1 Oreo with the latest May Android security patch. The company has teamed up with Google to bring Android P Beta, which is already available for download, and the stable version is expected later this year. It is pretty much stocked with added features including gestures, action for home, recent and back buttons, double tap to wake, music control, flip to mute, 3-finger screenshots and much more. The OnePlus 6 supports various connectivity options including 4G and VoLTE. However, it doesn't have a dual SIM, dual 4G VoLTE support. The OnePlus 6 is powered by the latest octa-core Snapdragon 845 chipset with Adreno 630 taking care of graphics department. The performance of the device is just excellent and the gaming performance is good as well. The OnePlus 6 is powered by 3300 mAh battery with the dash charging technology. In reality, the OnePlus 6 lasted more than a day with average use and for whole day with a heavy use. In our one charge rating, the OnePlus 6 achieved 16 hours and 44 minutes. It took just 27 minutes to charge the phone from 0 to 50%, but it took about 1.5 hours to charge from 0 to 100%. Overall, the OnePlus 6 is a solid upgrade to the OnePlus 5T in almost all the departments such as display, performance, design, and camera. Even though there is a notch which might not be preferred by everyone, the implementation of it is good. The gorgeous glass body complements the display as well. However, no phone is perfect. Even though the OnePlus 6 is water resistant, it doesn't have IP ratings and the phone also misses out on wireless charging even though it has a glass body. It also doesn't have a dual speakers. At a price of Rs 34,999 for the 6GB RAM with a 64GB storage variant and Rs 39,999 for the 8GB RAM with 128GB version, the phone gets Rs 2,000 costlier compared to the launch price of the OnePlus 5 and OnePlus 5T. The OnePlus 6 will be available exclusively on Amazon India starting from May 21st for the Prime users and for everyone on May 22nd through Amazon India, OnePlus India online store. The limited edition Silk White will be available on June 5th. To summarize, here are the pros and cons of the smartphone.